Come to Remora TC to trade like a shark and not get eaten by one. Let's school together to protect and grow our money. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It is Wednesday, July 2nd. It is a short trading week for us, so let's get right to it. The 10 tickers we've been reviewing, the first one right off the bat is the SPY. I've made some annotation changes to my SPY chart here. The main one being this trend line up here. It's one which didn't present itself until the past couple of days. You can see where price has touched it here, along here, attempted to bust through, and was sold down right there. And now we're attempting to bust through it again. What I do find interesting is all this bearish divergence got burned through. So right here on the past week, you can see all this price action really pushed through and essentially negated this bearish divergence. I'm on the fence here about how to play this. So right now, I don't expect still for the sharks to keep going along. I mean, they inform one another to get out here. Okay, all this was to sell. And then there's all this volume down here to buy. It's not really huge impulsive buying compared with these other bigger days here where it's in the 200 millions. The past few days, few weeks have been under a million. Under 100 million. Okay, the past few days, it's been waning a little bit. It's still under 100 million, 80 million or so. So this action here, I think, is really a topping action. I don't really think it's viable to go long. I don't recommend it. So my prediction and annotations remain unchanged. All the blue lines going down, still unchanged, okay? If anything, here's the 200-day, it'll come into play. I'm just gonna slide this over. So the 200-day will likely come out to here, somewhere out this way. I'll just extend it, okay? And that's what I see. So still lower prices. I'm not changing just because of the price action. Onto triple Qs. Triple Qs here. Let's get rid of that. Okay. You can see my annotations from last Sunday. I talked about this burning through of the bearish divergence. But you can see some weakening here of the price action on the triple Qs. So this is the tech sector. Let me just annotate this again. All-time highs moved over. You can see that the volume isn't crazy. Okay, 50 million or so. What you want to see is a big candle like this one over here, which is 160 million to really show conviction to the upside. But we don't have that. I think this is topping action up here. Topping action, such that this thick trend line still comes into play. I think that this is the last resort. The bulls need to hold this trend line if they want to go to all-time highs much higher than this. Otherwise, it'll be continued breakdowns. So I'm just going to slide this over. That's my prediction. Okay, still lower prices for triple Qs. No change in my forecast for it. Switching to the gold play, GDX. This is the miners. This one has behaved a little bit more as I expected. I talked about the gap fill here, which it did. Okay, based on all this bearish divergence back here, you can see it. The signal to sell actually came, signal to sell actually came here, but the divergence continued over here. Okay. Now all this action here, just slide this over. I talked about the top part of this gap fill being resistance. Right here, this guy here. I'm just going to delete that for now. It's out of play. But this trend line remains resistance. You can see that on this red candle got rejected. Okay, when price came back up, hit that, got rejected. I think it will still pose as a resistance. Now this gap fill is done. I'm going to remove it. No longer in my thought process. And let's get rid of this as well. And let's just extend this up here. So really further low prices for GDX, okay? That's really the general direction. Switching to MicroStrategy, the Bitcoin play. This one was very volatile. You can see that my annotation here proved correct from Sunday. Let's see, where's on what is this, Monday. So Monday price pushed up into resistance. Tuesday sold down. Okay, that's a big move in between Monday and Tuesday. So from Monday to Tuesday here, it's about a 7.5% move down. But then today's price action from where we were on the close yesterday to where we ended up today, about 7.5% up. So in both cases, it shows, look at the volume here. Very equal volume, very indecisive moves up and down. But the key thing which I want you to be very aware of is this resistance line. It remains in play. You see how today, what price did today? Let's look at the hourly. From an hourly standpoint, okay, yesterday price closed up here. They gapped it down underneath, and they are buying it back up. Perhaps tomorrow it'll hit this dark trend line again before being rejected. Still, lower prices is the general prediction that I have for MicroStrategy. I'm going to slide this over. I'm going to go like that. Okay, and it'll come down to the 200-day. So 200-day sliding over to the right, like that. Okay, lower prices from where we are now. Let's see, so down there. Okay, so to the 200-day, about 18%, but really the first support that I see is down here at 309. That's the MicroStrategy play. Microsoft is showing a little bit of weakness, not a lot of weakness. But what we do see, actually, let me back up. All this is bearish divergence with the price action moving this upward here, but this is a burning out of the divergence. I want us to look at this peak right here on the RSI, okay? This peak coincides with this candle right here. I want to zoom onto this candle and compare it to the peak. When you zoom in, okay, this high, so this is the close of 497.45. This one is 497.41. To me, they're essentially the same, okay, for this candle and this candle. But on the RSI, it's going downward. So to me, that's on a shorter time frame, a sell indication by the sharks. Okay, let's kind of zoom in here. If you go to the hourly, you can see the difference. Okay, hourly, you can see price action going upward and momentum going downward. Okay, so really, I'm going to annotate this on the daily as a sell signal, another shark signal to get out. Yep, you're going to say, really? And I'm going to say, yes. I'm going to duplicate this shark here. Let's see here, how do I duplicate it? I'll just add another one. Emojis, add the shark, add it right here. Okay, second sell indication on the momentum downside right here. Okay, so it's a second one. All right, so really, price action is weaker. I still feel it's that direction. There's resistance up here, the red that I put up here. And again, further low prices for Microsoft. And you all are saying, oh, you've been wrong all through here. Well, you're right, I've been wrong. That's how price action works. But the general movement is weaker. Okay. Let's look at the weekly. Let's see if the weekly shows weakness. Well, in fact, it shows weakness, bearishness. So this shark hides the all-time highs up here. Look at this peak and look at this peak. Okay, so this peak right here coincides with this one here, which is higher than this guy, coinciding with this one. In fact, if you go back here, this candle, these candles show even greater weakness. So it's all downward here. It's just a matter of when. Okay, it's not if, it is when. It's just a matter of when. Okay, so take your profits. If you made a lot of money going long, enjoy the profits. Take your profit. Okay, take some profit. Take some money off the table. Switching to NVDA. NVIDIA hit overhead resistance. Fine. Same sort of setup where there's a burning through of the bearishness. Now this one doesn't show the second sell signal, so I can't add a shark here. But I still feel there's resistance up here. I'm just going to draw that over there and continue to slide this over to the right. My annotations are really not changing. My prediction forecast is unchanged for NVIDIA. Let's go to Tesla. All right. Tesla also very volatile. I talked about resistance up here, okay, and the gap fill. All of that is no longer in play. My prediction was further low prices, perhaps a retest of this upper edge of the gap fill, but price didn't do that in the past couple of days. In fact, you've seen the headlines for Tesla. So you can see that it's been very volatile, moving downward. Now, does this mean it won't keep going upward? Yeah, I think it may get up to the bottom part of this candle here, red candle. I'm just going to annotate it like this. Whoops, like that. I think it might come up to this as resistance, just because I feel that's a kind of a zone. Okay, so the zone of resistance here. And why is that? Because of the price action here, this price action. In fact, if I slide this over for this guy, okay, it's kind of like that. There's this zone there. So it'll be resistance. We'll just slide the 200-day over a bit. There. All right. But in general, still lower prices for Tesla. We are not out of the woods yet. It's not the time to buy in yet. If anything, take a short up here. This would be a nice short. Palantir. Okay, Palantir finally broke down right here on this south signal, this candle here. This is the type of candle that I've been waiting for all the other tickers, the SPY, the triple Qs, NVIDIA. But you can see Palantir has done it. So the volume is greater at 200 million on Friday, last Friday. And you can see that the attempt to reclaim the purple trend line took place on Monday and Tuesday. And then prices continued to move down. I'm just going to slide this resistance line over, so there's still resistance there. I wouldn't put it past Palantir price action and dip buyers to buy it back up to here. Okay, they might even have it peek through above the purple trend line a bit, but I don't think it'll get above this one at all. It won't get above this this area. What is this? This is like 145. It won't. This is the resistance here. Okay. And you can see my blue annotations remain to the downside. Okay. Still to the downside. Let's delete that super long. Okay. The last one is the long trade. I discussed on Sunday the support area here. If you could have taken an entry along this black trend line, perhaps on the close of Monday or the start of Tuesday, and that would have been awesome. Okay, I am in this trade, and I ended up putting a trailing stop. So my trailing stop was for this candle here on Tuesday. So the price action was, I saw that price had been moving up into the top edge of this gap fill on the Tuesday. And because of that, I put a trailing stop of about, well, it doesn't matter what the percentage is. It's just my trading strategy. I put a trailing stop and I closed out and took profit. So my gains were from, let's see here, I think it was like 15% or something like that. Let's see. I was at 176 or so down here, up to, okay, so maybe about 17.5 or 17% was my gain. And so I exited my long. And then, trying to remember, oh, that's right. Sorry. The price action was like this. I'm trying to remember exactly how I played it. I put a trailing stop on, it wasn't yesterday's action. I put a trailing stop on Mondays. That's right. On Monday's hit of the 200-day. So I'm rephrasing. So when it hit the 200 moving average, I put a trailing stop and it came back, attempted to bust through the 200 again, and then it started to fail. And that's when my trailing stop triggered. I re-entered the long on, let's see here. I think it was, how did I do this? Oh, it was at the end of the day. So I tracked it to the end of the day. And as it started to peter out, I didn't think, I remember this, I measured what the risk reward was if I took the entry long. And it was about, at the time, it was about 1%. So I re-entered the long with about a 1% cushion here off of this trend line down here. And it closed yesterday a little bit further below. So my entry at the end of the day had a little bit of a red negative value. But then you could see on Tuesday and Wednesday, it continued upward. So I'm still in the trade. Okay, so my gain from there to where we are now is about, all right, not super, about 4%. Okay. Yeah, I apologize for how I explained this. It's just I couldn't remember how I played the trade. Anyway, the main point was to take the trade off the correct risk reward points. And indeed, I got back in to Dick's Sporting Goods. So I'm in this trade still. Let me re-annotate this. I think the general direction is now going to be upward. Okay. It may fail a little bit. I mean, it's just how it is. It may fail a little bit, but in general, it's just higher prices. Okay. So higher prices for Dick's Sporting Goods. It'll use the 200-day as support. I'm going to stick it up here like this. The 200-day will be support. Make it green. And then just further higher prices for Dick's Sporting Goods. Okay. My end target is the purple trend line. Okay. So I want to put a resistance color up there just to highlight for all of you. That is my next exit. All right, that would be a really nice trade. So about 30% or a little more than 30% up when we get there. So it'll be good. Okay, it's a short trading week. Have a nice holiday. Make yourself a barbecue and crack open a cold one. And as always, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment for me if this material has been useful for you, and share it with your friends and family. And as always, good luck with your trades.